I declare this convocation open for the conferment of external degrees.
Chancellor, I have the honor to announce that on the recommendation of the Senate, the Council has resolved that the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology, external, be conferred on those who will be presented by the Dean, Faculty of Information Technology.
Chancellor, I present S. Ajantini. TPGUS Alvis. A. Abirami. SGR Arachi. SKAAB Atukorla. AOL Attanayaka. BMDT Balasuriya. ADMAT Bandara. BMDB Banneka. LS Bodharagamage. LHANN Buddhadasa. KKIS Chanaka. TYI Chandrasiri. JDL De Cruz. DC Dimel. KAEP De Silva. MSA Dias. BBBL Disanayaka. RJR Fernando. PTS Fernando. WHU Fernando. PDK Gamage. GRTP Gamlat. WMAKB Giragama. AAE Gunapala. RRH Gunaratna. MSS Gunawardana. HMSS Herat, AMCM Herat, DGH Hirantha, JJMMG Jayasinghe, MHVY Jayasundara, AGKS Kapukotuwa, M. Kohulan, DDM Kumarage, JLR Lakpriya, DLM Lekam Vasam, DMUS Leela Ratna, WAH Maduranga, THDBL Mallimarachi, YT Matata Arachi, J. Mekala, TNN Monnakulama, KAK Mutumali, NWWWIT Nanakara, SRAB Nipun, GADM Nishadi, DTK Patiranage, BPUC Patiratna, PAHA Pereira, MPT Pereira, EDI Pereira, A. Pirakash, PAICK Ponnamperuma, PGB Prasanna, WUG Prasanna, WPPJ Premathilaka, WT Priyantha, KHS Priyashantha, BAG Randika, WIP Ransimala, RMAB Ratnayaka, BKSM Rodrigo, GDT Rukshan, SF Ruzna, BWU Sachitra, NDDL Sampath, GS Sandapa, PAV Saranga, AS Selvanagam, MIK Sashi Prabha, KKECN Silva, JD Sanduja, GMS Tharaka, GWS Tilakaratna, BMB WK Tilakaratna, PPM Tilakaratna, WMR Tisera, CM Uggoda, N Vasantakumar, NWAU Virasena, WASD Virasinghe, WESH Virasuriya, DSK Vikramaratna, WMD Vikramasinghe, WAIP Vidana Arachi, WAIU Vijay Singhe, KKSR Vijay Sundara, DWNP De Silva,
By authority vested in me as Chancellor, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology, External.
May I now kindly request the chairperson of the Center for Open and Distance Learning, Mrs. Vishaka Nanayakara, to introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Ruvindu Piris, who will be delivering the convocation address.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ruvindu Piris is a Managing Director and Head of the Colombo Office of STAX, a global strategy consulting firm with offices in Boston, Chicago, New York, and of course, Colombo, Sri Lanka. Prior to joining Stax, he worked for more than 10 years for another IT giant, Virtusa. Mr. Pires holds his electrical engineering degree from Queen's University, Canada, and his MBA from Edith Cowan University, Australia. Ruindu's passion to help Asia-based companies to grow into global brands while attracting global investors to participate in the tremendous potential in the region is very well known in the IT community. Ruindu is also a founding board member of the Lanka Angel Networks, Sri Lanka's first alliance of angel investors. Today, he serves as the chairman of SLASCOM, Sri Lanka Association of Software and Service Companies, which is the innovation and knowledge chamber of Sri Lanka that acts as the catalyst of growth for Sri Lankan IT and knowledge services industry. He was recognized for his leadership in enabling Sri Lanka's startup ecosystem in HLN Magazine's 40 Under 40, which celebrates the leading young people who are most important risk takers, job creators, and rule breakers. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ruindu Pires to deliver the convocation address.
Thank you. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, distinguished academic staff. Dear graduates, I'm honored and privileged to be here today to share this momentous occasion with you and your loved ones. The energy of your audacious aspirations and your daring dreams are really strong today. I can feel it. For many of you, the journey of getting here has been a long, tough, with many obstacles that you overcome. Doing an external degree takes determination, perseverance, and an iron will. Savor this experience. Soak it all in. The technical knowledge that you've gained is very valuable. However, it's these moments of grit and these experiences that's going to really take you the distance and see you through in the future years. We're now operating in the imagination economy, and the opportunity for all of you is to engineer a new future. In other words, really what I invite all of you to think of yourselves as Imagineers. We currently are living in an inflection point for actually the whole human species. It's never been this good, yet challenging at the same time. And let me explain myself, and I'll go through a few examples so that hopefully you get a sense of what I'm saying. And as we go through this, I want to also tell each of you that each of you have a very unique opportunity to make a significant impact and a lasting impact on the course of all of humanity, if you so choose to rise to that challenge. So let's think about what's happening today. And then, you might consider what I'm saying not to be so true when I say that we are living through one of the best of times, because if you're listening to the news, if you're looking at the headlines, globally and locally, right now they paint a very gloomy picture. Every day you listen to the news, you read the newspapers, it seems like everything's going, to hell in a handbasket, right? However, as all good professionals should do, and as you guys are now equipped to do this, you need to consider the data and really evaluate for yourselves and take a stance of what is the reality. And let me give you some stats on that. So in 2012, overall in the world, we had 56 million people dying. Of that, 620,000 of them died due to human violence. In contrast, 800,000 people committed suicide, and another 1.2 million people died out of diabetes. So in other words, we now live in a situation where sugar is more dangerous than gunpowder. Illness and disease takes up another large portion of our fears. There are many of our loved ones, personally, that I know as well, that are suffering from all kinds of life-threatening, painful diseases. And I by no means want to trivialize this. It is a very big problem. However, again, if you looked at the data, and if you were to look at the number of these illnesses and how many people die of them as a total percentage of the population, and track that over the last few years, you quickly realize that we're actually getting very good at controlling this. In comparison to very early years, where you'd have 500,000 people, 1 million people die due to plague or small chicken pox or whatnot. It was uncontrollable. But we have now got to the point where we can control this. So in fact, what's really happening is that our expectations of life expectancy itself is actually increasing. Since the 1900s, the global average of life expectancy has now doubled and is now at 70. It's interesting that now we start viewing death not as an inevitable occurrence, but actually as a technical problem that needs to be tackled. Google, actually Google Ventures, which has a $2 billion fund, has invested more than 36% of that fund into life sciences startups that are all looking to take a crack at solving death, as they call it. Helping the poor and having them engage in productive livelihoods has started to make a significant impact over the last few years. At the dawn of the new millennium, the United Nations set a goal to eradicate poverty by 2030. 13 years left to go. We've already reduced the proportion of destitute people in the world by 50%. As called out by Peter Diamandis in his book Abundance, which I highly recommend any of you who have not read it to really pick it up. It's an amazing read. He calls out that we've actually lived our life in a false belief of scarcity. He argues that in fact, we live in a world of abundance. The issue, however, as he points out, is that up until now, we haven't had an effective means of accessing and being able to distribute this abundance that we are so blessed to have. However, in the last few years, with exponential rate of increase in the technological developments, we have now figured out how to actually access and harness this abundance. Mavericks like Elon Musk have started to disrupt how the world sources its energy. The cost of solar energy today, just over the last 5 years, has dropped more than 58%. Solar energy now is cheaper in all but one of Australia's capital cities than it is to access retail energy. This is all happening today, right now. These are not science fiction. So, in looking at all this stuff, we truly live in an amazing time, and it's such a wondrous thing to be alive in today's day and age. However, we also face some grave challenges. There are millions of dollars in some of the smartest, brightest minds in the world, all working very hard at figuring out how to influence what you and I think and what we do. Google and Facebook are now competing with each other to get to know us better than we know ourselves. Despite having global connectivity like we'd never had before, if you really think about it, a lot of people are increasingly feeling very isolated and devoid of real human connections. Artificial intelligence and robotics are starting to really take a toll at how we traditionally look at how we make money and how we live. This is going to have a huge impact. Blockchain and cryptocurrencies are starting to take huge spaces in headlines. And in many ways, it's fair to say that there is an imminent economic disruption in the making. The internet was made public in 1995. And we take this for granted, but that was just a mere 20 years ago, if you think about it. And in that while, and I'd say actually even not 20 years, just probably within the first 10 to 15 years, the most valuable top 10 companies in the world were completely turned upside down. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Apple have now taken over the traditional giants that used to occupy those slots for the longest periods. However, there's nothing to say that these same companies will not be disrupted in much shorter period. And I'd argue in the next 5 years, there's a high chance that we'll see a whole new cast of companies coming in. I've always realized my son, who's just 8 years right now, is most likely going to be working for a company or an industry that hasn't even been dreamt of right now. So much is changing so fast. And the cost of not keeping up is increasing at an alarming pace. And that's actually very scary for a lot of us. So a lot to ponder. There's a lot of good things happening and a lot of challenges. Let me bring it back a bit closer to home. So Sri Lanka right now is going through one of the most opportune moments in its known history. And a lot of you are thinking, what are you talking about, right? You just had a full crisis, everything seems to be going wrong. However, this is the best time to be alive and to be in Sri Lanka. We sit at the center of the fastest growing middle income populations across India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And for our good fortune, these three countries don't necessarily like each other, but all three of them actually love us. We must fast become regionally relevant and really figure out how to capture and to grow with this opportunity. Through SLASCOM, we've been advocating for the knowledge and innovation industry, which all of you are warmly welcomed and now very much a very part of actively contributing to become the #1 revenue earner for Sri Lanka as fast as possible, and hopefully within the next 10 years. And let me tell you why this is a very important thing. And I think this is a huge responsibility on all of us. If you take in the last 50 years, and to most, in many ways, in a shameful manner, we've relied on our poor ladies, our mothers and aunties and sisters, who have been carrying us, whether it be through the tea industry, whether it be through the apparel industry, or whether it be through domestic help in the Middle East. Those have been the largest revenue earners for this country, and we still continue to really rely on that. So making this transformation, I argue to you, is actually a responsibility and something that we all need to take very seriously. Now, to do so, we think there are 3 things that need to happen. We need to enable more intellectual property and product creation in Sri Lanka. We had a great run of doing services for other countries and other companies to be able to exponentially grow. It's now time for us to start owning some of that intellectual property and to really start going up the value chain. And this is happening. Companies like Codegen, Microimage, EdSenid, SimCentric, WSO, just to name a few, are already making a global impact. And what's really interesting is that we have new startups like Bhasha, Odoc, Gendo, starting to make amazing traction in a very short period. We need to really kind of accelerate this process. It's ours to lose right now. Number 2, we need to build on niche focus areas of strength that we have and engage actively with the rest of the world to help create what we call captive innovation centers. And what this is going to do is to really help us engage globally and help disrupt global companies in their traditional value chains. We're doing this as well. Companies like the London Stock Exchange is disrupting how stock markets are working. And all that was done from Sri Lanka. Cisco Labs, which started off as LeapSet, a product that Cisco, the world's largest food chain company, invested into, just in the last 2 years has realized how significant an impact our engineers from Sri Lanka are making in their product and the potential that they could have, that they now decided to have 350 engineers from Sri Lanka disrupt the whole value chain from farm to fork. That's all happening in Sri Lanka. Companies like Pearson, the world's leader in terms of online education that's disrupting how we're going to be learning in the future. Their whole engineering base is based out of Sri Lanka. So these are already happening, and these are great examples and many more. But we need to have a lot more of these, and I think all of us need to be able to talk about these a lot more openly and be able to encourage a lot more of this to happen. Third, to the point that I made earlier about us sitting in a very opportunistic geographical location, we need to actively position Sri Lanka as the digital gateway to the rest of Asia. And we need to be able to attract foreign direct investments, but also be very willing to have foreign talent come in and rub shoulders with us. We got to step above. We cannot be afraid of this. We got to believe in the fact that we have some of the world's best minds and be willing to compete and cooperate with the world's brightest and best in our own home yards and be able to actively go after this opportunity within the region. So, the task for each of you is to use this amazing degree that you've been afforded through the hard work of University of Moratuwa and your academic staff and really become, as I said, an Imagineer. The world needs your help to imagine what the next 100 years is going to look like. You need to make a choice today. Are you going to be the author of your own script, or are you going to be the actor of someone else's? I wish you the courage to be the author. All the best.
Chancellor, may I now kindly invite our Chancellor Vidya Jyoti, Professor KKYW Pereira, to deliver the Chancellor's address.
Ayubowan, Vanakkam, good evening. Garuthara Swamin Wahanse, Vice Chancellor Professor Anantha Jayawardena, Deputy Vice Chancellor Professor Rahul Athagalage, members of the Council, members of the Senate, Deans, Registrar, Mr. Ravindu Piris, our most important guest speaker, Chairperson, Center of Open and Distance Education, CODL, members of the Board of Management of CODL, members of the Board of Study for Bachelor of Information Technology, BIT external degree, academic and non-academic staff, particularly of the CODL, IT faculty and the Computer Science and Engineering Department, guests, and dear graduating students, the most important stars of the day. Let me congratulate the fortunate graduates of today for their achievements gained through hard work. You have come in from a variety of places and varying backgrounds. After the landmark achievements registered today, you will go outwards to work in various fields and places and will be doing innovative and creative work with different employers or build up your own enterprises. The achievement is also for the academic and non-academic staff who designed and planned and monitored the courses. I congratulate the Vice Chancellor and all staff, including those in the Center for Open and Distance Learning and the partner institutions. I congratulate the two main partner institutions from the private sector, Open Art and Horizon, who have carried out the delivery of the courses to satisfy the curriculum and course content designed and given by the University of Moratuwa. The examinations have been conducted by the University of Moratuwa itself so that the quality of the graduates is ensured. Thus, you are going out today with a degree from the highly respected University of Moratuwa. At this point, I would like to pay a tribute to the University of Moratuwa for the ingenious manner in which it had innovated the Bachelor of Information Technology degree. We all knew that the available seats or vacancies in the university at the University of Moratuwa and other teaching institutes were inadequate to meet the student demand for IT education by those suitably qualified at the GC advanced level examination every year. That is, those who qualify at the GC advanced level get suitable grades, whatever it is, A, B, 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 C, or mixtures, or D, passes. The universities in the traditional way cannot accommodate all these people. So in one way that demand is not met, the student demand. Then in another way, the requirement of industry for graduates with IT qualifications. Industry needs graduates with IT qualifications, and that is not met. So in two ways the demand is not met. One is the demand by students, other way is demand for IT graduates from industry. Large numbers of graduates were sought by giants such as Millennium IT, Virtusa, WSO2, and so many other big and small firms. The major numbers of IT graduates coming out from traditional local universities were thoroughly inadequate, and increasing seats, that means the vacancies, for entirely internal education was not feasible with available capital as well as recurrent funding. This new innovation, thought out by the university nearly a decade ago and implemented from 2007, has enabled graduation of progressively increased batches of new graduates. This year, in 2017, it is approximately 90 graduates. In another 4 years, it is expected to rise to about 400 graduates per year. Low cost. It is remarkable that the fees charged by the university are comparatively quite low, approximately 140,000 for the entire course of 3 years. Many parents today pay more than that for advanced level tuition fees. And an employed student is free to do self-studies. They don't have to go to partner institutions. All students can get the help of partner institutions if they so desire, of course at a price. Partner institutions have to be paid their costs or maybe a profit, small profit. Even with such costs added, the total expenditure for the entire course is about 400,000 rupees. What an ingenious innovation to meet a necessity of the country for IT expansion without burdening the students too much. This is what is meant by expanding horizons. The title of my topic is Expanding Horizons. The university has really expanded its horizons. How much would it have cost to send a student to a foreign teaching institution in order to obtain learning, in order to get learning and to obtain a degree? It would have been tremendous, millions and millions of rupees, 10 million quite easily. Elastic and expanding demand from industry. Sometimes there are critics who don't like these increased numbers coming out. And even I, when I was very young, thought if we produce more and more graduates, where are they going to go? Where is the employment going to be? And they are going to be unemployed. And we like to reduce the numbers if possible. But that is a very narrow way of thinking. Particularly in the case of IT, the demand for jobs is very elastic. is not, the job market or job area is not a restricted amount. Earlier it was like that. There are only so many mechanical engineering places, there are only so many factories, so many vehicles, so many buses, cars, so mechanical engineers should not be too much. That was the view earlier. But particularly when it comes to information technology, I said demand is elastic. I have a rubber band which is elastic. You can expand it. And you can expand it as within limits beyond which it will burst. But the area can be expanded. Likewise, IT jobs are expanded, in fact, depending on the input of IT graduates, because IT graduates are the raw material itself. More IT is there, because today, as our guest speaker mentioned, we are working with the world. More IT graduates means you can expand the companies locally, and you can export your IT and earn foreign exchange while being in Sri Lanka, and you can expand the companies more and more. But some of the graduates may go abroad and work, but some of them will work here and earn perhaps as much. So the demand today, the job market is expandable, it is elastic. It depends on the numbers of good people coming out of universities and other private institutions. If we did not produce enough IT graduates, expansion of local IT industry would have definitely suffered. The giants similar to Millennium, Virtusa, and many may have been forced to relocate the industry at places where IT graduates are readily available. Thus, the innovation of the University of Moratuwa in establishing the BIT course, Bachelor of Information Technology course, is laudable because it increases the number of qualified IT graduates without burdening the students too much, without burdening the country too much. Congratulations to the Center for Open and Distance Learning, CODL, of the University of Moratuwa, IT faculty, Computer Science and Engineering Department, and the University as a whole, including the previous Vice Chancellors and the present Vice Chancellor, Professor Anand Jayawardena. And of course, congratulations to the partner institutions. In fact, it is not only Moratuwa University that needs recognition for this noble task of helping to increase IT graduate population. University of Colombo started a BIT course before University of Moratuwa. Other universities also produce small numbers. The Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, SLIT, produced literally thousands of IT graduates at a higher price. Nevertheless, without these graduates, Sri Lanka's IT industry would only have been minuscule, very small IT industry if we didn't have the graduates. I am glad to see new institutions such as the SLTC, which is expected to produce more IT graduates in the coming years. They have not had a graduation so far. If not for these innovative expansions, many of our able and talented young people would have had to go to other countries for studies if they could find the money. That's a big question. And also perhaps get stuck in employment in foreign countries, leading to the loss of talents in Sri Lanka, brain drain. And once they go and taste the foreign countries, they may not come back to us. We are losing talent also. But this is prevented by such ingenious courses like what Moratuwa has done in the BIT course. BIT. I'm very happy. It's a very happy day to me personally also. I had the fortune to take part in the formation of the University of Moratuwa when I became the first or founding dean of the then only Faculty of Engineering and Architecture at that time in 1972. Therefore, it is a great pleasure for me personally to see the expanded faculties and disciplines and the ingeniously devised BIT program and the new graduating batch, which are of great significance and service to the country. To the graduates, I would say you have earned the degree by your own effort, your hard work. It is, of course, your own intelligence and merit supported by others. There are others who have supported this, the parents, teachers, and many others. Thus, we should together recognize that there are many others who are in the country who are not as fortunate or clever as you are. There are many who could not make it to a prestigious degree like yours because they lacked maybe food, clothing, or money or other support which are essential for a good education. You are the persons who can relieve the problems of such persons and make their lives happier. Now, when we see expanding horizons, what is really the horizon? Now, either on the earth or on the sky, there is no line marking the horizon. Horizon is what you see. If you climb up onto a tree or a hill or mountain, tall mountain, the horizon expands. So, likewise, by climbing up to this level of education and degree, you have climbed up. So you can see more. I'm telling the graduates, you can see much more than what you saw earlier. Not only your technical knowledge about IT, but you have come to company with various people. They know also, your teachers know, others know what this expansion is. So you are in a position to see better and do more to increase our business productivity, IT knowledge, IT capability, and various things which can help more employment. Our guest speaker was telling me that they are engaging how many? 25,000? 2,500 young people, just with A level or maybe even without that, into certain aspects concerning IT. In the meantime, they can also study somewhere. And that's the way things grow. And if you are able to reach foreign people, local people, people like our Mr. Piris, then you will also be able to expand your horizons and do much more than what you are thinking you can do. You can do very much more. Also, you are in a position with your knowledge to help the country and the world by using knowledge, not only IT but other knowledge, to increase production and productivity, whatever the field is, in the least cost and sustainable manner. This will enrich the country and will create new jobs. A good job to a person in the country outside you, maybe a farmer, maybe a man working in the factory, can make those people happier. Making others happy is the way for your own lasting happiness in the long run. Your contribution would be in a factory, could be in a factory, where proper scheduling and logistics will increase output or per capita productivity or produce goods of a higher quality. It could be in agriculture or in any other field. The time is right for your time is ripe for you to introduce Internet of Things, IoTs. I'm sure graduates know something about this. That is, today there are a lot of gadgets and devices, small things like this, where you can go and plant it somewhere and you get information out of it. And these gadgets talk to themselves, and also they can talk to us digitally and give us signals, messages, whatever you like. And these can help in growing. And with your ability to handle IT, you are well equipped to handle these gadgets. These gadgets are available in the market. You can buy them, you can make them, you can modify them. Those things can be done today. So you are able to do this because you are above the average in knowledge. You are yourself able to expand horizons. Because you are above average, you can see a wider area leading to better solutions which others may not see. You can make use of the advanced knowledge to help improve industry, agriculture, medical technology, and many other needed areas, and in many other needed areas. I wish the graduates the very best in employment or in their future ventures as entrepreneurs and job creators. They may be job seekers for a short time, but ultimately they will end up as job creators in some way or other. I wish happiness to all. Thank you. I declare the convocation closed.